Welcome to the Friendly Frequencies podcast. I am your host, Carmen McLeod, and I am here to talk to you about my passion for spirituality and personal development. My purpose in life at this time is to remind you how powerful you truly are and that you create your own reality. If the mind, the soul, and the universe are topics that interest you, and you want to continue to evolve into your soul's purpose, then you are in the right place. Thank you for joining me as I travel the world and record my journey through self-discovery. Hello. This is me coming to you live from the Philippines for the first time. This is my first episode since I have been here. I've been here for about 4 or 5 days now, maybe even almost a week, I'm not sure. But including travel time, I think about a week. I spent 3 full days traveling down here. And it was quite the long process, but I made it. And there's been some cluster biffs, of course, more of them. I have been tested a few times around just things happening, things going wrong, things that, I don't know, are things that I always thought would be like the worst thing to happen at the airport and traveling wise, like non-safety wise, just like, anyways, I'll tell you more about it, but I'm here and everything is good now and I'm really happy. So I'll give you a little update on my life. So I am staying at a farm/resort. It's called Haraya, and it's like a huge piece of land. They grow every type of food you can think of, food, fruit, vegetable. They got animals, adorable little piggies, horses, cows, like everything. Ducks, chickens, everything. Their accommodation is adorable. It looks like little teepees. They're like little teepees on the property. And it's just huge and amazing and just so beautiful. Nothing like what I was expecting. Because I'm pretty sure the pictures of this place, I found it on Workaway, and if you're not familiar, it's the place that I've found all of these mural jobs that I've gotten over the past few months of traveling, where I would, I have a profile and I can, find people from all over the world, any country I want, and message people who have profiles in that area and they have pictures of their places, and it can be anything from a hostel or someone's house or a resort or anything. And so this one I thought this was just like a farm / almost like commune type thing, and because it looked like a commune on the pictures, and it looked like very simple, didn't look super fancy or anything. So I was very pleasantly surprised when I got here, and it was a beautiful resort. If you have me on Instagram, you've seen a little bit of like, I've been posting some stories of where I've been working, and like the place that I'm taking this, recording this podcast, I can't even believe it's so beautiful. I'll add a picture, I'll post a picture of it for when I make the post about this episode on my Instagram today, so you can see if you haven't. But it's just amazing. This place is so amazing. So because the photos that I saw of this place were I'm pretty sure they were of this other community that they serve on Wednesdays, which we went up there yesterday to go up there, and basically every Wednesday they go up to this community in the mountains, and they're very kind of cut off from the rest of the world. I've been to a few places like this where they speak a whole nother language. They don't even speak the same language as the rest of the country. They don't ever leave this area. They're completely just like, it's like the indigenous people of the area. And so I went up there. I think it's like maybe 100 people, or no, I think the one we went to was less. It was like maybe seemed like about 50 people. Lots of kids. And the staff here will go up and teach them English, teach the kids basic literacy, because they aren't because they're so their own community, they're cut off from everything. They don't learn the same things that anybody else does. They don't really learn anything other than what they know, just based on their ancestors passing down their knowledge of you know, searching for food and hunting, stuff like that, like basic survival skills, but they're not taught anything else, anything more than that. So the beautiful people of this resort, because it's not just a resort, it's like a eco, oh my gosh, what is it called? Like a self-sustainable community. Like the resort that I'm on is completely self-sustainable, and Julius, the guy who allowed me to come stay here, who owns the place, he's very passionate about the environment and having people know how to become self-sustainable and eat, you know, the right kind of foods and all this kind of stuff, and just to live in a way that is sufficient, or, you know, a good way of, I don't know, I'm not saying it properly, but you know what I mean, like good for the environment, self-sustainable, all that kind of thing. So I'll be learning more about this while I'm here, how to live this way, because I do want to live this way in the future. I want to have my own farm, not to this extent probably, but I want to be able to grow my own food, basically, just my own fruits and vegetables and stuff. And because, you know, if a thing like COVID ever happens again, I want to be able to feed myself, not worry about anything happening in the grocery stores. But yeah, so anyways, we went up to this community yesterday, and the staff, they go up every Wednesday. They teach them, you know, all that, you know, they teach them kind of like as a school setting. And so when I went up, I gave them a little art class, and it was really like very, very basic. I literally just used chalk on the chalkboard, just showed them how to draw a palm tree, or like a coconut tree, which was like honestly the worst drawing ever that I did. Like, I'm not even a good drawer, and I hate chalk, so I was like cringing so much while I was drawing it with chalk. But it was actually a really beautiful experience, because the kids actually did really good job, and they were able to draw the palm tree. They just followed along with me as I did the, you know, lines. They did the same ones, and then they got to color it in with you know, crayons. And anyways, it was really, really cute. They just wanted me to show them some sort of creative activity, and it was honestly so much easier than bringing a bunch of paint stuff. I didn't have enough paint stuff to bring down there for sure. Like, I literally only have like a couple tiny tubes of paint, and so that was cool. I'll also post some pictures about this if you want to see. So that's what I did yesterday. It was very cool, very authentic, like just so very cool. I really enjoyed it. And another update is that I'm doing a sober October. Ever since I've been to the Philippines, because I arrived, I think, on October 1st, I have not been partaking in any substances except for coffee, which is literally the only substance that my body actually is dependent on and is addicted to, as per everybody else in the world probably. I really wanted to cut out all substances, like including caffeine, but I tried and it hurt me. Like, it really hurt and I'm not like somebody who drinks a lot of coffee, like 1 coffee a day sort of. And by the way, pardon all the background noise. I'm sitting right beside the water, lots of waves, and there's people sweeping around me and stuff, so lots of noise. I'll try and cut out as much as I can. But anyways, yeah, tried to cut out caffeine. It was a miserable day. I was just feeling really sick and had a headache, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna try caffeine another time. Maybe when I can trick my body into thinking that I'm drinking it when I can just drink decaf. But anywho, yeah, so sober October. So I'm not drinking, not smoking any weed or anything like that. And it feels great. I mean, it doesn't really feel so different because I wasn't normally doing that stuff on a daily basis anyways. But I feel just feels nice, feels good. Mentally, I guess. It just feels like, yeah, you know, and combine that with waking up at 5 a.m. and doing yoga on the beach and watching the sunrise. It's like it all goes really nicely together, and like I feel like I'm just, and eating food that's grown locally on this property every day, and just combining all of these healthy choices together just feels great. And I feel like this is the kind of lifestyle I'm really I could get used to living for sure. So I'd say that's probably all the updates I have, other than If you haven't seen, I posted about this, I think I posted about this on my Instagram, but my backpack was lost, or not lost, but it was delayed. It was held up at one of my stops in Seattle, which was my first stopover, and they held onto my backpack and never sent it through to, I don't know, Air Canada did some weird stuff. And anyways, I never received it. When I get to Manila here, they said, your backpack isn't here, it's still in the US. And I was like, oh, okay, that sucks, because that's like all my stuff is in there. I mean, I had all my most of my valuables. I had some valuable things in my backpack, but like all my clothes were in there, and just all the other stuff that I didn't need immediately, like at the airport with me. But it was a bit stressful. But that's kind of what I'm gonna base my podcast around today, because it was quite the process in dealing with this situation, and not even mostly mentally. It was really not so much physically. All that happened physically was I was without my stuff for a few days, and I was, wearing stinky clothes that I was wearing for like basically a week straight. And that was, not so bad. But the hard part was mentally. That was really mentally hard, because, I'm all about mindset, and you control your thoughts, you create your reality, all that kind of stuff. That's my thing. That's what I truly believe. So I was put to the test during this, because I had to trust that I was going to get my stuff. And I don't know. Basically, at first, I was totally trusting of this. And so when I first got there, the people told me that, your bag's not here, but we can send it to you. So I moved, and Manila's like a whole day's travel away from this island that I'm on. So I traveled all day to come down here the next day. And I asked if they would be able to send it down here so that I don't have to wait for it in Manila, because I really wanted to get down here. And they said yes. And so I was like, okay, great. No problem. I can go without stuff for that, amount of time. No problem. So I was like really happy with myself. I wasn't angry. I wasn't frustrated or anything. I was like, no problem at all. And then I got here, and I told Julius that they would be sending my stuff. And he seemed to be a little bit like concerned, or just seemed to, he was kind of like, oh, I'm surprised that they said they would send it down here because it's so far. I'm just wondering how long that's going to take to get here. And I was like, well, they said only a couple days, and he seemed to think that it would take longer, but just kind of assuming. And, considering how long it took just myself to get down here, I got down as soon as I could, and it took me a whole day to get down here. And so that kind of planted a seed of doubt in my mind. And I got a little worried. And I was like, oh no, because obviously he knows this place better. And like, I don't feel like I can really trust the airline people, considering that they did this in the first place. And I don't know what it's like, the Philippines Airlines, all of this. So I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever, let's deal with it in the morning. I'll think about it. And, but there was nothing really else I could do. Like, I was already down here. It's not like I could go back up to Manila to get it. I could, but it would take me a whole day there and like a whole day back, basically, or maybe a full day of there and back. But I really didn't want to do that, like, definitely not. So anyways, I just spent, the first day here, I think was really great. I think the first day here was amazing. I really enjoyed myself. I was not stressed about my bag at all. And then my second day here, I don't know what it was. I guess I was just it just sunk in what he said, and my mind started to think about all of the possibilities that could happen with it, and what would happen if I was to never get my bag, and I would have to get all new stuff, and and my precious backpack that I traded my suitcase for in Cambodia. Like, it is falling apart, but I'm like, oh no, I worked so hard to get this